Hunter meltdown. 1 point coming in, 4 points down going out. Philadelphia just flipped this championship on its head. Round 15, Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia. 2 rounds left in the 2026 season, and the math was brutal for both of them. Hunter Lawrence on his HRC Honda holding the red plate by a single point over Ken Roczen on the Progressive Suzuki. A 1-point lead with 2 rounds remaining is not really a lead. It's a warning. 1 bad section, 1 missed line, and everything built across 14 rounds disappears before you reach the finish line. Cleveland was still fresh. Lawrence had watched a 10-point cushion collapse into a 1-point deficit in a single night. He knew another performance like that would not just cost him the points lead, it would end his championship. The pressure walking into Philadelphia was unlike anything he had carried all season. Roczen arrived with momentum. 4 wins in the last 5 races, riding with the kind of confidence that only comes when everything is clicking at once. A rider in that form on a track designed to punish hesitation and reward instinct was a serious problem for Lawrence. Then there was Philadelphia dirt in the rain. Deep ruts in every corner, giving you one line and punishing you hard for missing it. Whoops that were already brutal becoming unpredictable lap by lap. For Lawrence, who needed clean, controlled racing, this was the worst possible setting. For Roczen, it was an opportunity. When the gate dropped, the fans got exactly what this championship deserved. Lawrence, Roczen, and Webb came out of the first turn running 1, 2, 3. Top 3 in the standings, bar to bar, in the mud. Lawrence grabbed the lead on the HRC Honda and tried to do what he'd done all season, build a gap and make the race boring. Within the first 3 laps, he had a massive save, a rut grabbing his front end in a corner that should have put him on the ground. He fought it back upright, kept going. But those kind of saves cost you. The energy spent fighting a crash like that does not come back. And in a race that long, in those conditions, every bit of it matters. Roczen read it immediately. Lawrence was not fully in control, and the track was exposing it. He applied pressure consistently, and on lap 2, drove through a muddy rhythm section, doubled into the lead, and never looked back. Once Roczen hit the front, the race became about Lawrence managing the gap and waiting for an opportunity. For a few laps, he stayed close enough to keep it alive. Then, on lap 8, it all came undone. Lawrence crashed in the rhythm section just after the finish line, a self-inflicted mistake. No contact, no external factor, just a rider who had been carrying too much for too long finally getting collected by the track. He remounted and kept going, but the wind was gone the moment he hit the ground. While Lawrence was managing the fallout, the front of the race had its own story. Webb had been running third through the middle of the race, and when the field reshuffled after Lawrence's crash, he found himself in second with clear track and Roczen very much within reach. He started closing methodically, finding slightly better lines through the ruts, carrying more speed through the corners. With 5 laps to go, the gap was close enough that you could feel what might be coming. But lapped riders were making it a nightmare for both of them, clogging up the track at the worst possible moments, forcing both Roczen and Webb to navigate around riders who had no business being between them at that stage of the race. The final 2 laps were genuinely tense. Webb right on the back of the Suzuki through every section, close enough that one mistake from Roczen would have handed it over. Roczen did not make that mistake. He held every line, stayed composed, and crossed the line for his 5th win of the season, 4th in the last 5 races, done under pressure that would have cracked a rider who was not completely locked in. Ken Roczen now leads the 2026 Monster Energy Supercross Championship by 4 points. First time he has held a red plate this deep into a season in years. Think about what has happened across these last 2 rounds. Cleveland, a 10-point Lawrence lead becomes a 1-point Roczen deficit. Philadelphia, that 1-point deficit becomes a 4-point lead. The entire championship has reversed in the space of 2 race nights, and Lawrence is now the one doing the chasing. Roczen is not giving him anything to work with. 4 wins in 5 races is not a hot streak. That's a rider who has found a level and is not coming off of it. Denver is next. Mile-high altitude, where the thin air changes how these engines breathe and how much the riders have left in the closing laps. 2 rounds remaining, 4 points between them. Is this finally Roczen's championship, or does Lawrence have one more answer? Drop it in the comments and subscribe, because Denver is not gonna be quiet.